I will be discussing the operational expenses of our company. First of all, what is operating expenses or operational expenses? It is referred to the cost incurred by a business for its operational activities such as rent, salary for staff, insurance, license fees, utilities, and building maintenance and repairs. But cost of goods sold, like materials or capital expenditures, are not included in this type of expenses. In our company, Grande Builders, our monthly operational expenses are composed of rent, salary for our staff, utilities, depreciation of production machine and equipment, and depreciation of office equipment like computers and aircons. Since the machineries and equipment that we will be using in our in producing our product is quite big and heavy, we will be renting a bigger space so that we can ensure that our workers can comfortably work in their workplace. Also, aside from our factory, we will be needing an office for our marketing, research, and accounting team. Therefore, we will be allotting worth 1 million for the rent of our office and factory. It is just a rough estimate, but we think it is enough for us to have an office and a workplace for our employees. Grande Builders has 5 owners and a total of 40 personnel, which compose of 10 personnel in each department and team such as marketing, research, accounting, and maintenance group. Since we will be operating in Metro Manila, the minimum wage required for our company would be 512 pesos per day. It is the standard set by DOLE or Department of Labor and Employment for workers. If a staff worked 26 days in a month, his or her salary would be 13,312 pesos. But in our company, the salary of marketing, research, accounting, and in maintenance staff starts at 20,000 pesos, which means approximately 769 pesos per day. Meanwhile, the owners will receive 30,000 pesos per month, meaning 1,154 pesos per day. Therefore, all in all, there are 40 operational staff that will be receiving 20,000 per month and 5 owners receiving 30,000 per month, which give us a total of 950,000 pesos. Again, the salary of our staff is just a rough estimate because in this computation, overtime work or OT is not yet included.
Before I continue the explanation about the operational expenses that was used, I will first introduce myself. My name is Rawson Kevin Aboyore and I will explain the other expenses involved in the operational. So, uh, I'm in the utilities. So utilities is part of the operational expenses. First, what are these utilities or what are utility expenses? So as the word it says, it entails that utilities are going to be used in our operation based on the needs in the office or on the production plant. So an example of these utilities are the electrical power to be used in the operation. Uh, because electrical power, it holds a significant amount of usage because it is needed to run a building. When you are in the main office and maybe also in the importance in the production plant. Uh, these are continuous expenses as long as it is being used in the period of time, the expenses will be continuous. So another example in the usage, Another example of the utility expenses is that are the usage of communication. Based on what we need in the operation, we need to have modern technologies to comply the needs in the operation, also the needs in having a higher efficiency rate. So the use of communication is based on the needs of the technology. As long as it is needed, utilities will be needed and will be added to our expenses no matter what. Another expenses will be the depreciation of the production machine and equipment. This expenses is highly dependent on the utilities that you had bought at the beginning and on how you oftenly use it, and also by maintaining it. The machines involved are used for the production of the material. Some of this machine would be the blast furnace that I mentioned in the last PowerPoint or the last presentation. These are the blast furnace, the refining container continuous casting machine, the reheating furnace, and many more. They hold the importance of the completing our product, and their rate would be based on this formula. The summation of machines costs divided by the years of depreciation, and all of it multiply it by 12 months because of 1 year. So that is why we got an 835,000 based on the computation stated in our sample computation. Last but not the least, the depreciation of office equipment. It is also the same application from the depreciation on machines and equipment. Having the same summation of equipment cost divided by the years of depreciation and multiplied to 12 months. So the formula is also the same in the depreciation of the production machine and equipment. The only difference is that instead of machinery, it focuses on the office equipments. These equipments are the computers, aircon, TV, or any gadget or any other type of equipment that can be used in the office. The depreciation will start when it was bought, and because of that, that is all for our operational expenses.
Next to be presented is the basic income statement of the financial sheet that we have done. So here's the result of our basic income statement. So quantity sold in a month would be 26, since the daily capacity of our manufacturing would be 100 per day times 26 days, minimum number of days for an employee to have their full wage. So price per unit is 3,000, since the variant 1 would be 1,000 pesos and the variant 2 would be 2,000 pesos. So for the gross sales, we would be multiplying the quantity sold in a month, price per unit, would result to 7,800,000. So cost of the sales is linked on the last slide, which equates to 3,465,800 pesos. Gross profit would be the gross sales minus cost sales, and it would equate to 4,334,200. For the operational expense, which is linked in the last slide, equates to 3,301,000. So for the net income before tax, would be the gross profit minus operation expenses. This is equal to 1,033,200. This net income before tax is where the investor would see if they want to invest on the company or not with the use of the ROI. So for ROI, or the return of investment, product would be 2.06%. Return of investment would be solved by the use of the total by divided the net income before tax in the total amount of machines used by the company. So when you divide 1,033,200 to 50,100,000, which is the total cost of the machines in the company to be used, equate to 2.06%. So whenever you, for example, when you invested 1,000 pesos on the company, the return on investment to the investor would be 20 pesos, around 20 to 21 pesos. So the tax, um, the tax in the net income would be 123,984,000, which is 12% of the net income, and for the gross net income would be net income before tax minus tax. So it would be 909,216. Speaking of gross sales, why does it took 7.2 million pesos? Based on the NABs of the group, there are two major market segments that we are targeting to. Primary market segment would be the common versus the community, or household versus with the apartments, small stores, etc. Persons living near the selling sites or the hardware, in other words. So for the secondary segment, would be the owners of the building, at least two floors, professionals, engineers, architects, owners of industrial buildings such as warehouse, manufacturing houses, etc. and the like. And for the estimated target market size segment size for the primary would be 100,000 per 100 consumers, or 1,000 peso per consumer of the both variants. For the secondary would be 100,000 per 10 consumers, or 10,000 pesos per consumer of the both variants. That would be an estimate, but it is viable since the first variant would cost 1,000 pesos. So if a consumer buys our first variant, then we have target segment size for the primary. Also, we are targeting that all of the stocks given to the selling sites based on daily capacity of the plant, 100 pieces per day per variant was sold, which equates to 2,600 pieces sold in a month. Multiplying to the price per variant, giving a result of 7.2 million. This is why our gross sale will become 7.2 million pesos, since we assume that the products being manufactured are all sold. The price we have given to our products are much less to our nearest competitor. For instance, here's our proof, and this proof would be the second answer would be the answer to the second question given to us by our professor. So for the price, the variant 1, just like what I said, 1,000 per piece. Variant 2, 2,000 per piece. And for the nearest competitor, GI sheets, 120 per square meter, prepainted GI sheets. That looks like the variant 2 would be 370 per square meter, translucent, which looks like the variant 1 would be 600 peso per square meter.
Good day everyone. So my name is Roland Miguel A. Umandap and I'll be talking about on how the group could make 7.2 million pesos on this product. If we are to compute the product based on the specification, we will be having 60 square feet, or roughly equating to 5.57 square meters. So in comparison, For the first competitor, which is the translucent one, having 600 pesos per square meter, and then multiplying that to 5.57 square meters, it would equal to 3,344.51 pesos. In comparison to that, on our first variant, which is 1,000 pesos. For the second competitor price, which is the pre-painted GI sheets, which is 370 pesos per square meter, and multiplying that to 5.57 square meters, it would equal to 2,062.45 pesos. In comparison to that, to the second variant of our product, which is 2,000 pesos. Therefore, with that saying of our price, we could encourage the consumers with their product due to the price because it's much cheaper. So next is all the group could look into marketing strategies, or we could consider marketing strategies with the help of marketing team by looking for societal trends that would attract more consumers whenever they saw our product, such as advertisement in TV, radio, or social media. It is also important that one who manages the selling sites of the product is knowledgeable enough about our product to be able to sales stock those who are interested to buy. So we think of creating a sales pitch that is to be presented to this to sales person in the selling sites. Thank you. That's all.